Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk England against Fiji then. Another game that is so hard to call, and I think that's the one thing you can say for the skewed nature of the World Cup draw, for all the criticism, understandably, that it's drawn, especially if you're Scottish, or for whichever team, France, New Zealand, Ireland, South Africa, whichever two teams exit the competition this week, they're going to be moaning about it. But the good thing is, we've got an unbelievable weekend of rugby. This could be as good as rugby gets. This might be the greatest weekend of World Cup rugby ever, because we have got 4 fixtures that are on a knife edge, and England-Fiji is so unbelievably hard to call. I cannot wait. Sunday evening, I will be watching the game here in Marseille. By the way, I'll tell you at the end of the video, if you're not bored by then, why and how I'm here, because it's quite nice, isn't it? I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. If you've enjoyed the World Cup journey with me so far in France, and you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you did. It's just me. I'm up against all these corporate machines with all their big teams, social media teams, all their cameramen, sound technicians and stuff. It's just me fighting against the big guns with your help. And I've loved having you along the way for the journey. You can help just by giving the video a thumbs up. That really helps. Get stuck in the comments, as you always do, and I'll join you there as well to talk about this one. How do you see it going? Where is the balance of power? Who is the favourite? That's really hard to call right now. Who is favourite to win between England and Fiji? It feels like this one's going to be decided by the team that is the least worst, who makes the fewest mistakes, whose discipline isn't dreadful. Because these two teams are coming off of poor performances. Granted, England got the win against Samoa, but on another day they wouldn't have done. And Fiji were really lacklustre against Portugal. I think both teams are going to be much, much better than they were. And they're going to feed off the energy in that Marseille stadium as much as anything. They know they're going home after this 80 minutes. Whereas before, I think both teams realistically knew they were going through to the quarterfinal. Well, England knew that they could only finish top of the pool. Fiji, I think, banked on that they would at least get the losing bonus point, probably beat Portugal. And because they were not on it, they lost, which was really entertaining. Fiji will not be that bad again. Hopefully England, well, selfishly, hopefully England will not be that bad again. But it's really hard to know who's favourite. But that Marseille stadium, I have to say, the atmosphere that that stadium can generate is bonkers. Fabien Galtier, I was there at the France-Namibia game earlier in the tournament. And after that, he said, when he was asked about the Marseille stadium, he said, this stadium is irrational. That was the word he used in the French translation. He said, it's irrational how amazing it is. It really is. And yes, Paris for Ireland, South Africa was the most amazing atmosphere I've ever experienced at any live sporting event. Number 2 on that list was England v Argentina. Bearing in mind the game wasn't that great, that says something. The atmosphere is going to be bonkers. I cannot wait. I'm getting loads of messages from friends that are travelling in, coming along. There's going to be so many England and Welsh fans there. But the locals, they're going to be out supporting Fiji, and there'll be a lot of Welsh people. I know a load of Welsh people that have got tickets for both games. They'll be wearing their Fiji jerseys on Sunday night, make no mistake. So the atmosphere is going to be amazing. I hope and I think that will bring out the very best in England. So many of the players talked about after that Argentina game that was the most amazing atmosphere they've ever experienced and how they fed off it. And they need something to give them some energy, because if you were describing England's performance against Samoa, I've used words like, on videos in the feed, I said clunky, slow, hesitant, lethargic. And you probably used similar words to describe Fiji at the weekend. There's no place for that now. I think and I hope the fear of exiting, or the excitement of a potential World Cup semi-final. These two teams will never have a better opportunity to get into a World Cup semi-final. This lopsided draw will never happen again. Either the fear of going home with your tail between your legs, or the excitement of a potential semi-final needs to just bring out some energy and just go all guns blazing, leave nothing behind. But where's the game going to be won and lost? I think it's the breakdown. You could probably say that for all the games, but I think especially this one, because if Fiji get on top in the breakdown, if Lavani Bottia is allowed to do what Lavani Bottia can do, it's game over. And England have to solve that issue, because I'll tell you one thing that really struck me watching England against Samoa is the number of times you heard the referee say, use it, England, use it. And that, I heard that so many times, I thought, well, that's one indicative of a team that kick a lot, and they'll do a lot of box kicks, so they slow it down by choice. But even when the opportunity is there to go quick and to attack, England's ball is not quick enough. They allow the opposition to dictate and slow it down. And so you hear the referee say, use it. You never hear the referee saying, use it to France or Ireland or South Africa and New Zealand. It just doesn't happen. The ball's gone before you know it. So England have got to be on it with the breakdown. I don't know what they're not doing, what they have to do, but you cannot let Lavani Bottia on the ball. And flip side, that's Fiji's secret to success. Because they're going to keep the ball for long periods of time. That's the way Fiji play. They play phase after phase after phase. England have a couple of phases, and then if it's not working, they just box kick it. Or even when they have got a good attacking ball, they still box kick it. So I think England are going to play that game, territorial, try and squeeze some mistakes out of Fiji. Fiji are going to keep the ball a lot, and that's why England are going to want to keep Fiji in their own half, because they figure if Fiji go through phases in their own half, they might knock on, they might cough up a penalty at a breakdown. It's going to be fierce at the breakdown, and that's where Matthew Raynal's job is going to be critical. Now, teams and players have to manage the referee, whoever it is, and on the last video in the feed, France, South Africa, they've got Ben O'Keefe. New Zealand v Ireland is Wayne Barnes. Wales against Argentina, it's Jaco Piper, and this game, England-Fiji, Matthew Raynal. Now, he's a bit like that old classic French cliche. You never know which French team's going to turn up. The French national team is not like that anymore. Matthew Raynal is. He can sometimes come in and be really picky, and other times he just lets it be a total free-for-all at the breakdown. If that Matthew Raynal turns up and he's just letting everything go at the breakdown and it's really loose, England are in serious trouble, so they've got to take care of business. Flip side, Fiji's line-out was not good enough in the last game against Portugal. It is a weakness, potentially. England have to target that. The problem with England is, and let me ask you a question, what is the one thing that England can hang their hat on? What do you look at this England team and say, that's one thing they're really good at? Because I have to say, I don't see any right now. Yeah, they can have moments where they're good at this. They can have moments where they do a good thing there. I don't think England have anything they can say, that's what we're about. In 2007, the last time the World Cup was in France, England reached a quarter-final. They got panned by South Africa in the opening game. They got to the quarter-final. They were written off. They were playing against a much-fancied Australia team, and they went and did them in Marseille. And I hope England can channel a bit of that inspiration. But they did them because they had a scrum that could just absolutely marmalised Australia. They just crushed them at scrum. Andrew Sheridan had the game of his life. And Australia didn't know what to do. England don't have anything like that. They don't have a weapon like that. They tried to maul it, and they tried again and again and again to maul it against Samoa. Didn't work. They can't seem to pass the ball competently down a back line. They're just hesitant, not confident in each other and themselves. I don't know what they hang their hat on. Maybe you've seen something you can tell me that they're good at, but they need whatever it is they're trying to do, they need to deliver on it. If they're going to be a mauling line-out team, they've got to be good at it, much better than they were against Samoa. I just don't see it. Whereas when I look at Fiji, I know you know what you're going to get. They're going to be ferocious in defence. They're going to smash the breakdown, and they're going to offload as much as they can. And if they get their offloading game going, see you later, England, you're on the plane home. Portugal showed what you have to do against Fiji, and it's just swarmed them in defence. I honestly don't know how this one's going to go. Obviously, the selection is one from an England perspective we're really, really looking at. Who's the 9 going to be? Will Alex Mitchell persist? I think he probably will. I think Alex Mitchell had a bad game, but a lot of that comes down to the quality of the ball that the forwards were giving him. It was dreadful. The forwards were not good enough. I think Owen Farrell's going to be in the team. I think he may well be wearing the 10 shirt. But I could quite easily see him persisting with Ford and Farrell 10 and 12, rightly or wrongly. Many people would say wrongly. Brave decision to make, but he's kind of tied himself to Farrell by making him captain, hasn't he? And I've been saying this on a previous video, I love Owen Farrell. I'm one of his biggest defenders. He's an absolute England legend. He's an incredible player. He gets so much unfair stick. But I did say on a previous video, I prefer Courtney Lawes as captain, as much as anything, because it gives Steve Borthwick the freedom to pick who he wants to pick. Big decisions. I still don't know who the favourites are. I've got a feeling about Fiji. I'll probably see them as slight favourites for this one, but I'm hoping going in as underdogs might inspire England to actually draw out a performance that they're capable of. We haven't seen it, but that they're capable of. Right, you're still with me. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Again, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let me show you what's going on here, because this pad is nice, isn't it? So this is, I was just on the beach, and where I was a minute ago, check out this view. That's the view out of this window. The beach I was just sat on for the last video when I did France v South Africa preview is just down there. And this is because a listener to the podcast and a viewer on this YouTube channel, Anton, was seeing me in the van, seeing me with my little makeshift shower, and he said, I've got a place in Marseille that's going to be empty for a couple of days. Do you want to have a nice kitchen that you can cook up a meal in? Do you want to have somewhere you can go on the beach and then go and have a nice shower afterwards with real hot running water? And this is why rugby is amazing, because the people of rugby are brilliant. We see that you've seen the videos in the channel of talking to fans. How good are they? Just like respect, good humour. It's what rugby's about. And then I've been blown away by the spirit of and generosity and kindness of people in comments and of people watching, following the journey. We had the England fans who gave me somewhere to put the van and in their lovely house that they were renting in Nice. And now Anton, who lives just up in Aix-en-Provence, but has got this flat on the beach in Marseille, just got in touch and said, Tim, it's all yours, mate. So I'll see if I can put a link to the Airbnb listing for this place in case you ever want to come to Marseille. It is look at it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the view, sitting and having your morning coffee with that. So I'll see if I can put the link to this Airbnb listing in the information on the channel. But I just thought I'd let you know why I'm not in the van, which is parked just around the corner. I'll be back in it in a couple of days. But there we go. I'm having the best time you can imagine, and you're just the comments and everyone supporting the channel is just blown me away, frankly. So I really, really appreciate it. And with that, if you are still watching and aren't bored by now, then I'll just say again, thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video.